Okay, next up we have Laura Moore, who is a Facebook ads expert, and she's going to be giving us lots of great hints and tips for creating successful Facebook ads.
Hi everyone. Just to warn you, this is my first talk in a very long time, so I am nervous, so I may speak really fast, so tell me to slow down. So I am a Facebook ads strategist. I have been working in social media since 2012 when I used to market my own businesses, and I now work with brands and businesses to market them. I qualified as a strategic social media marketer, which is really hard to say, and I recently retrained just to focus on Facebook ads. I'm a little bit geeky when it comes to Facebook ads, so I'm not going to geek out today. I'm going to be talking about things that you can implement straight away if you're using these, in terms of how to create a high-performing ad. Now, there is a lot that I could tell you in terms of who you would be targeting, what campaign objective you might be looking at, and all these sorts of things that would be very confusing to go through as like an introduction to Facebook ads. So I'm just today going to sort of focus on boosted posts, which is probably what most of you have done if you've run a Facebook ad, and explain to you why that probably isn't the best use of your money. And then I'm going to talk about how you can create copy that converts and the visuals that you should be using. Okay, so who is using Facebook for their business already? Quite a few. And who is putting money on their posts and spending money with Facebook? A few, okay. So just a quick introduction about why you should consider to use Facebook ads. 79% of UK adults over 18 are on Facebook. So if you want to get out to businesses or consumers, Facebook is a great place to be advertising. It's quite likely that the person you're trying to connect with is on Facebook. Whether they're there in a business capacity or not, they're on there, okay? So if you've got ads budget or marketing budget, Facebook is a great place to use it because your ads will be shown on Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, all sorts of other different placements. An average Facebook user clicks on 8 ads a month. For women, that goes up to 10. For me, it goes up to about 50. So Facebook ads are really, really good just to get that click and to try and grow brand awareness, and obviously then move on to sales, leads, whatever it is that you want to do. And Facebook Messenger, the actual app, is the most downloaded app across all apps, okay? And your ads on Facebook can show in the Messenger app. WhatsApp and Instagram are also really highly downloaded. So WhatsApp is the 3rd, Instagram is the 5th. And your ads for Facebook can show on Instagram, and soon they will also show on WhatsApp. In America, that's already rolled out. It hasn't rolled out properly here. So it's really good to know that these are the places where your ads can be shown. So I'm going to talk first of all about whether you should be boosting posts or creating ads. And most of you, if you have spent money on Facebook, you've probably boosted a post thinking that you're creating an ad. But the two are very different. So to boost a post, you hit that big blue button that Facebook puts in front of you because it wants your money, and it will send you a little notification saying 97% of people are boosting posts like this, you should boost yours. And it's a bit like gambling, you don't actually know if you're going to get any results from it. So if you see that blue button and Facebook is telling you that you should spend money on it, these are the things you need to think about before you do. Is that post performing really well in your eyes already? Don't just believe Facebook. Is it getting comments? Is it getting likes and reactions? If it is, yeah, it might be a good post to put money on. If it's not and no one cares about it, you putting money on it means you're showing it to more people who don't care. So it's just a waste of money. Is that post going to be optimised for success? Is it going to do what you want it to do? Yeah, you might be getting loads and loads of comments and shares, but if it's not meeting your end goal of selling whatever it is you want to sell or getting the leads, there's no point spending money on it because you're just going to get more comments. And if that's not what you want, why bother? And the third thing to think about is when you're boosting a post, you get 2 objectives. You get to get more engagement or messages. So these are the things that will show up when you try and boost a post. And now Facebook changes every day, so it could be that when you go in tomorrow, it will give you different objectives. But at the moment, these are the only 2 you can get. You can get more engagement, you can start conversations in Messenger. So that's literally all you can do by pressing that blue button. However, if you create an ad, you get all of these. You get 11 different objectives that you can choose from. So therefore, depending on which one you pick, Facebook will go out to your audience and find the people who are likely to take the action that you want. So if you want traffic to your website and you click on the traffic objection when you're creating your ad, Facebook will look within your audience, so how many thousands of people it is, and it will show your ad specifically to the people who are likely to visit your website. So therefore, your money is being spent much better than being spent on someone who is only going to comment when you want them to go to your website. So have a think about that when you next come to create your ad. And then you also want to think, is it going to meet my specific goal? Because there's no point in spending money on advertising if you don't have a goal in mind. Ads will give you more buttons and headline options than a boosted post will, so it will allow you to have a stronger call to action and get people to do whatever it is you want them to do. It will also allow you to find more of your ideal clients because the targeting is much more open. When you're doing a boosted post, you can literally show it to people who are following you already, or you can look at different interests. Whereas if you're creating an ad, you have got loads of other options. You can create audiences based on what people have already done on your website, how they've already interacted with you on Facebook. If you've got a good GDPR compliant email list, you can go out and find people who are just like that. Facebook will go and find those people for you, so you don't have to think about who they are. And also, ads will give you much more in-depth analytics. You can see whether your ads are working and whether your budget is being spent well. And if it's not, you can turn it off. And if it is, then you can optimize and scale it so that you get more bang for your buck. So that's the difference mainly between ads and boosted posts. So next time you're on your page and Facebook tells you, boost this post, it's going to do really well for you, just have a little think and think, actually, would an ad do just as good if I spent my money there? So I'm just going to quickly talk about the copy that converts. So when you're writing your ads, people really jump into this and don't spend loads of time thinking about what they're going to do. They just think, right, I've got 20 quid, I need to spend it, what am I going to write? And they just quickly go out and write something. So it's really important to think about who you're talking to. You need to be crystal clear on who that person is when you're writing your ad. You want to think about one audience for your copy and write it towards them. So think about the demographics, think about their pain points, their wants, their needs, all those sorts of things, and the language that they use. And then the next thing you need to think about is, what is your goal? What do you want from that ad? From that specific one ad, not in general, from that specific thing that you're spending money on. What action do you want them to take? Do you want them to download something? Do you want them to buy something? To start conversations with you? Whatever it is, you need to make sure that you're very crystal clear on that. So you've got a really strong call to action and you're choosing the right campaign objective. So you then need to make sure that you know what your hook is. What is the thing you're going to say to them to make them take the action you want them to take? Have you got an offer that you're going to give them, maybe? And what pain point do you solve? And when you're writing your copy, you want to be very clever in writing to sell the sizzle and not the sausage. So you're not going to be talking about features, you're going to be talking about benefits. You're going to be explaining why they need whatever it is you're talking about. And think about when we're on Facebook, we're not on there to be sold to, we're on there to be entertained, to speak to our friends and family, to learn something maybe. So just think about how you can use your wording like that as well. And Facebook has very strict policies and guidelines when it comes to copy, so there's some things that you need to think about. You cannot make people feel bad about themselves. So this is really sort of comes into its own when it's like the fitness and weight loss sort of space. So you can't say, oh, are you feeling overweight, or are you really tired, and all those sorts of things. You can't make promises about making money. Facebook does not like that at all. And you cannot use before or after shots in fitness, but also in, like, if it was tattoo removal, or sometimes even in the beauty space, it's really awkward for that. And you need to remember that Facebook will look at all your ad copy, it will look at your audience, it will look at your imagery, but it will also look at the landing page where you're sending people to. So even if you've got everything right in your copy, if your landing page doesn't follow their guidelines, they won't allow that ad to run. And you need to remember that one size does not fit all when you're writing your copy. So you may have different audiences, and you need to think about how you can talk to each of those. So if your audience, for instance, for one of your products is women aged 40, you might talk to them very differently to if you had another audience that was teenage boys, 18 years old. It'd be very different language. You might use different emojis, you might use different imagery. So you need to be really mindful of that as well. So language is really important. You need to use conversational copy. You need to remember that you're on Facebook, so no jargon, no corporate language. We're all there to have conversations and sort of engage with people. And it can be really good to call out your customer and speak directly to them so that when they see their ad, see your ad, they're looking at thinking, how did they know that I need this? They're talking right to me, and you're writing it to them. And asking a question can be a really good way of doing that, to sort of get them to self-identify. And it's really good to use words that help people self-identify. So, are you feeling like this? Or do you need blah, 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 whatever it is that you're talking about. When I write my copy for myself and for my clients, this is what I do. I have these 6 boxes, and I try and fill as many of these as I possibly can. So I'll always understand who my target client is. I will then think about what it is that they want. What is their pain point that I can solve? If I could show empathy with their pain point, then I'll do that as well. And then the proof might be a testimonial, it might be the image showing whatever it is I'm using or trying to sell. And then I need to make sure I've got a really strong hook to try and get them to do whatever it is I want them to do, a really strong call to action. So this is how I might write an ad that is for my business. My target client would be women who are using social media to grow their business. They might want to get more leads from their Facebook ads, but they might feel like they're wasting money because their ads aren't working and they're just giving Zuckerberg all their cash. So I would probably tell them that I've been there, I've done that, I've wasted loads of money on my Facebook ads in my previous business. Don't worry, it can be solved. The proof that I would give them for this would be a testimonial, telling them, showing them how I've done it for somebody else. And then my hook might, for instance, be a free download that's going to help them to solve the problem. So then this might be how my copy would look. It's actually cut off a little bit there. So I might call out to them, are you using Facebook ads but you're not getting the leads that you need? Do you sometimes feel like you're wasting money and getting nothing in return? So that's sort of helping them self-identify, and it's calling out their pain points. They can be like, yes, actually I do feel like that. I'm showing empathy because I know exactly where they've been. I know it's just gutting. And then I'm giving a solution. The proof is here in my testimonial, and then I'll give them a call to action. Click here to download this free PDF or sign up to this, whatever it is, webinar. So it's really clear they know exactly what they need to do to get the thing that's going to solve their problems. And then the next thing you need to think about is the right visuals. And obviously we scroll through our phones so quickly these days, just constantly scrolling. So it needs to be something that's going to really capture them, to stop them scrolling so they read the copy. It's really important to think about your visuals for your placement of your ads. So I said before that you can show ads on Facebook, Instagram, they're going to be in WhatsApp soon, they're in Messenger, they're all different shapes and sizes, and you can now use story ads as well, so it's even more different sort of shapes and sizes that you can use. And if you get it wrong in a placement, it looks weird. We're all used to seeing square images on Instagram, for instance. So if an image comes up and it's rectangular, it looks weird. So then we would immediately spot that it's an ad and we'd keep scrolling. So it's a really important thing to think about. So just a few things about best practice for images. You need to choose images that connect with your audience, whether it's to connect with them or it's to connect your product with them if you've got a product. Images people can work really well, so particularly if you're a service-based industry, sometimes it's really difficult to think of an image that you can use, but people are really eye-catching, so that works really well. Think about will it stops people scrolling, so bright colours, pattern disruptors, all those sorts of things will stop our brain from scrolling. No images that make people feel bad about themselves, that's what I said before about before and after photos. Size it for the placement, and then you need to remember the 20% rule, and Facebook is really strict about this. So 20% of your image is the maximum that can be text. If there's any more of your image that is text than 20%, then your ad will either be rejected by Facebook, or it will be allowed to run and your costs will soar. And it won't be shown to as many people and it'll cost you loads of money. So you need to make sure that you're really strict on that. And then when it comes to video, video works amazingly well in organic and paid ads. But you need to get people's attention within the first three seconds, because that's how quick our brains work when we're scrolling. So using really big movements, for instance, is really good in video. And not having really long-winded introductions. So if you're doing a video and you're talking, the first thing you say shouldn't be, "Hi, I'm Laura." It should be, "I'm going to tell you about how to stop wasting money on Facebook ads." And then they're going to start watching. And then you need to keep their attention for as long as you possibly can. The longer you can keep their attention, the more retargeting options you get when it comes to like sales funnels and things. And then it's really important, if you are talking to camera in your video, and you've got audio that you want people to hear, you need to make sure you're using captions, because people don't listen on Facebook and on Instagram in like the grid. The only place that that there's like a high percentage of people who are listening with sound on is Instagram stories. Everywhere else, people tend to just sort of watch without sound. Video is great for testimonials, so if you can get somebody to talk to video for you and for you to use it in your ads, amazing. And again, create it for each placement, and the 20% rule still applies. Captions will be fine, but if you've got lots of text in your video, it will be downgraded. Video can work really well at the top of the funnel, so if you're running a sales funnel, video is great for introducing your product or service at the very top, so always useful. Now, writing copy and creating imagery is really difficult. So if you're not good at it, you need to outsource it to somebody who is good at it, because otherwise you're just going to waste your budget. So you may as well just outsource it. I use Ad Zombies and Jeff Minibatch for this, and they are really, really good and really reasonable. So it's just important to make sure that you've got that sort of into your ads budget as well. So I'm nearly finished, but I just thought we would do something a little bit fun. So I'm just going to show you a couple of ads and maybe liven you up a bit, and ask you if you think it's an ad or if you think it's bad. So, is that an ad or is that bad? Anyone?
Bad.
Bad.
Bad, why?
Touch the top.
I'll tell you. Right, so here are my reasons. I don't understand what this copy has got to do with the image. The only reason I'm fat is because a tiny body can store all this personality. What's that got to do with the image? Doesn't make sense. The whole ad is just bizarre. The photo's great. That stopped me from scrolling, but I don't get it. And this is a typical example of someone wasting money by hitting that blue button when Facebook has told them to boost it. What was the purpose of spending the money on it? There's another one. So this is a marketing expert. So it's probably really easy to guess whether this is an ad or this is bad, but what do you think? There's a lot of copy.
It's a poor one, but it looks like it's a real one.
It's kind of in between. I would say it's an ad for a few reasons. So it calls out the audience. It straight away asks you, do you feel like you're living a lie with your business? So you might stop and read it. So it's kind of getting to the point. It also gives a solution. The text is nicely broken up, so although it's long, it's quite easy to read. And there's a really strong call to action. Hit the download button to get your free checklist. That's really strong. The imagery shows the product in use, and it is bright colours, but I don't think it would stop me scrolling. I think a picture of a person might have been better. But I would say that's an alright ad. And then this is the last one. So this is a local East Grinstead-based hairdresser, which I hope that they're not here. And the ad says, we're recruiting, we're looking for experienced stylists and juniors to join our team in East Grinstead. Drop us a line or email to find out more. Ad or bad? I would say this is bad, because the copy is all about them. We're looking for experienced juniors and stylists. We're looking for this, that, and the other. Drop us a line. It's all about them. What am I going to get if I come and work for you? Why should I come and work for you? Why should I get involved with you? So that's quite, I don't really like that text. They're using hashtags. Hashtags on Facebook don't work. There's no point. It's just ugly. And they're giving people a reason to click off of your ad. So if there's distractions, they're not going to click and they're not going to do what you want them to do. They're just going to go and see what else is under that hashtag. So don't ever use hashtags in ads, and don't use them on Facebook anyway. But also this image has got so much text. So Facebook won't like this. It will show it to far fewer people and the costs will soar. The text is always also really hard to read. If they want me to phone them, they need to put the phone number in here so that I can phone them. And the targeting was the main thing about this ad. I was shown this. I'm not a hairdresser. So I looked to see why I was targeted, and I was targeted because they were looking for people who were interested in hairdressing. Every single person in this room is interested in hairdressing because we go to a barber's or a hairdresser. So this ad is going to be shown to all of us, and they're going to be paying to show it to people who don't care. So if they narrowed their targeting down to show it to people whose job title was hairdressing, or who were interested in specific products that only hairdressers might buy, then it wouldn't have been shown to us. It wouldn't have cost them money. It would have been shown to the right people. So that is me. That's all I really wanted to go through. I hope that was useful. If anyone's got any questions, please let me know. Yes.
So I remember the 20% rule
Yeah.
with the pictures. Is there a rule like that with videos?
Yes, it is the same for video.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have another question.
Yeah.
Thank you. What about if you're targeting in a different country? I'm thinking of the US.
Yeah.
But is that something you've got experience of, in like the sort of stuff to watch out for if you're targeting international?
It depends what it is you're who are you trying to get in the US?
So it's B2B basically, entrepreneurs.
Yeah, it would work exactly the same as it does here. So with your targeting, you would just put US. You do all the same things that
Yeah.
you'd normally do, but just do US for the location. Yeah. Anyone else? Yeah.
Have you ever done any campaigns targeting local businesses in magazines with a concurrent Facebook?
I personally haven't, no. But there would be no way really to judge, like compare the two. Because with a Facebook ad, you've got really strong analytics, so you can see how many people have seen it, what actions they've taken, etc. Whereas with a magazine, you don't know how many people have looked at it. You only know whether they've contacted you. So you can't really compare the data. Yeah. Anyone else? No? Can I go get a drink now?